클릭해주셔서 감사합니다.
Hello everyone, I'm Laixeo JK. In the previous lecture, we talked about climate change, sustainability, and the future of economic growth. Today, we are going to discuss a very human question: what is happiness? Does becoming richer actually make people happier? Why do some wealthy societies still experience stress, loneliness, and depression? And why do humans continue chasing money even after their basic needs are already satisfied? Today we will explore happiness, economics, wealth, well-being, and the relationship between money and human life. Let's begin. First, let's understand something important. Money clearly matters. Without enough money, life becomes extremely difficult. People need food, housing, healthcare, safety, education. Poverty creates enormous stress and suffering. So economics absolutely recognizes that income and material conditions strongly affect quality of life. However, the deeper question is this: after basic needs are met, does more money continue increasing happiness forever? This question became an important topic in happiness economics. Researchers began studying the relationship between income, life satisfaction, emotional well-being, mental health, and they discovered something interesting. Money increases happiness strongly at lower income levels. Why? Because basic security matters enormously. But after a certain point, the relationship becomes weaker. This idea is sometimes connected to the Easterlin paradox. The Easterlin paradox suggests that long-term increases in national wealth do not always produce equally large increases in happiness. Why? Because humans adapt. As living standards rise, expectations also rise. People quickly become used to improvements. This is similar to the hedonic treadmill we discussed earlier. Now let's talk about comparison. Humans rarely judge wealth in absolute terms. Instead, people compare themselves with others. For example, a person earning a moderate income may feel satisfied in one environment, but dissatisfied in another where everyone appears wealthier. Social comparison strongly affects happiness. Modern social media intensified these effects dramatically. People constantly compare lifestyles, success, appearance, and status. Now, here is another important idea: time may matter more than money in some situations. Suppose a person earns extremely high income but has constant stress, no free time, poor health, weak relationships. Will that person necessarily feel happier? Not always. Research often shows that relationships, health, meaning, and personal freedom strongly influence well-being. Now let's discuss work. Many people connect identity and self-worth to careers and income. Modern societies often measure success through salary, status, productivity, consumption. But economists and psychologists increasingly study whether endless productivity actually improves human well-being. Some societies are beginning to discuss work-life balance, reduced working hours, mental health, quality of life. Economic success and human happiness are not always identical. Now let's discuss inequality again. Even in wealthy societies, extreme inequality can reduce social trust and increase anxiety. Why? Because large status differences create constant comparison and insecurity. People may feel pressure to compete endlessly. This can affect mental health and social cohesion. Now, here is something interesting. Experiences often create longer lasting happiness than material possessions. For example, spending time with loved ones, traveling, learning, meaningful work, community, creativity. People often adapt quickly to material goods, but meaningful experiences may affect life more deeply. This does not mean money is unimportant. It means money is not the entire story. Now let's talk about consumerism again. Modern economies constantly encourage people to want more. Advertising often implies buying this product will improve your life. Sometimes products genuinely improve life, but sometimes consumption becomes an endless cycle of temporarily satisfaction. This is one reason happiness economics became increasingly important. Now here is another important question. What should economics maximize? Only GDP? Only production? Only consumption? Or should societies also focus on mental health, social trust, environmental sustainability, human relationships, life satisfaction? Some economists argue that future economic systems should measure human well-being more directly. Now let's connect this to philosophy. Economics eventually becomes connected to deeper human questions. What does it mean to live well? What kind of society creates meaningful lives? What should humans ultimately pursue? At some point, economics and philosophy begin overlapping. Now here is one final important idea. Money is a tool. It can reduce suffering, create opportunity, and improve quality of life. But money alone cannot automatically create meaning, purpose, love, or fulfillment. Human well-being depends on many dimensions beyond income itself. So let's summarize today's lecture. Money strongly affects happiness when basic needs are unmet. However, after a certain point, additional wealth may produce smaller increases in happiness. Humans adapt quickly and compare themselves with others. Relationships, health, meaning, and freedom often influence well-being more deeply than endless consumption. Happiness economics studies how economic systems affect real human lives, not only production and income. And because economics ultimately exists to improve human well-being, understanding happiness may be one of the most important goals of economics itself. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this lecture, please like and subscribe. And in the next video, we will discuss another major topic in economics, the future of capitalism. Can modern economic systems survive the challenges of the 21st century? See you next time.